Morning, friends. If you've been watching in chronological order these last few videos, which are, I'm just doing like one a day, and I'm not sure exactly what the viewership is ever going to be, but I just wanted to lay out a vision so that at least I feel that I've shared it, so I don't look back and go, well, you could have shared your vision. At least you could have shared your vision. Well, I'm doing it, okay? So I'm responding to a reproachful me on my deathbed, looking back and saying, well, you should have done more. So I have that kind of pressure. It's not that important that I have high views. It's more important that I have done the job, okay? So there's something of my motive. The other thing, though, is I'm not trying to be a big talking head on a big screen like Big Brother at a bunch of camps, which is what it could look like from the last couple videos. It's more back office, and I can download YouTubes. I can share them other ways than on YouTube also. But I just, as part of a syllabus or curriculum, the way I look at it is a camp and a campus are pretty much the same Latin word. And if we're going to have a lot of, quote, refugees, those are really, we're talking about a safety net, a global safety net for people who have been dislodged or prevented from having, they don't see a future where they're at, so they have to go somewhere. And this happens all the time, and it's going to keep happening, and not always because of war. I would hope it would not happen because of some idiot's carpet bombing fantasy coming to reality. We need to keep those kind of war fantasies in the psychiatric department. Treat people who are dreaming to do those things instead of letting them do it, right? But then there's still natural disasters, there's flooding, there's all kinds of reasons that people need to move, and sometimes it is to prevent an outbreak of violence. But a refugee camp doesn't have to be a horrible place either. And where does one go if you're wanting to get some training in the design and implementation of campuses, global university campuses? So we're really just talking about a global university with a lot of facilities. And we need to invest in those. They don't just appear magically. We can't just kick back. And the idea that everyone gets a McMansion or two-car garage, white picket fence, that's somehow the goal of global development, I don't think that's even the American dream anymore. Maybe it is for some people. Life in the suburbs with a swimming pool, is that really what you're looking for? There's a limited number of those situations. I think a lot of people would prefer to be working on campus in all kinds of capacities. People don't like dead-end jobs, but they'll do amazingly difficult jobs if they see light at the end of the tunnel and they're getting academic credit and so forth. So there's a lot of workflow management, there's a lot of software development, there's a lot of cryptocurrency challenges. I was just talking about floating blimps over these sort of large campuses for Wi-Fi purposes. Also surveillance. You're going to have a camera pointing down. You can see the whole camp maybe. People don't like to be surveilled, but if you let them look through the cameras, it's like everyone's free to look through the cameras and see what's there to be seen. So, like in London, there's cameras everywhere, but who gets to look through them? Here in Oregon, we have ODOT, Oregon Department of Transportation, with cameras on freeways, and the public can look through them. If you've got public looking through all these cameras kind of randomly, then you've got a lot of eyeballs too. So let people surveil themselves is kind of what I'm saying. I want these campuses to have an opportunity to run, democratically. It's not a prison camp. Ideally, we're aiming for not a prison camp. So what do we do? How do we do that? Big questions, and I feel like if you're seriously into academics, you ought to be tackling these questions at some level, somewhere, somehow. It's not up to politicians. That's the big mistake we make is, oh, it's up to the politicians. Since when was that true? When did really politicians do much except stage a soap opera for our benefit where we kind of feel our concerns are mirrored and then watch a fight on TV? Is that what politics is? Because who's designing the campus of the future? That's where we need to focus. And where do you go to get that kind of education? Where do you go to participate? Not really interested in soap operas that way. The politicians have got it going. It doesn't really move me. Anyway, just talking. I don't want to be the big talking head, but I do want to be a talking head, and I want to work with the Quakers to help get this more futuristic curriculum going. It's not just about the isotropic vector matrix. It's also about designing the camp itself, the campus. What are the dwelling units like? Are we going to have big indoor areas? Are we going to, like some refugee camps, there's so many to look at now, and where's the refugee channel on cable? Where can I just, or on the internet? I'm not wanting journalists to go there and, you know, talk politics that much. Like, just tell me how these places are working, what are the concerns of the people. Political judgments, not that interested. Even the soap opera that got people there, maybe not that interested. I mean, don't pander to me, but I think journalists may sometimes feel they're trying to tell some political story that they think their viewers want to hear. Maybe their viewers don't want to hear it. Anyway, we'll talk more. I just wanted to clarify those couple points. Talk to you soon.